Welcome to the Movie Draft Podcast. I'm Ethan Simi, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Ben Lawhorn.
Party on, Ethan.
And our first lovely guest of the episode, Ashely.
Well, at least my parents didn't name me after bottled water.
And our second lovely guest for this episode, Bryan Sudfield.
I'm not a fucking athlete. This is my fucking way. This is how I win.
And today, oh no, that bodes very, very harmful for me. Shit. And today, we are drafting SNL Alum movies in a regular style draft. When this episode comes out, the weekend prior will have been the official nationwide release of the new Jason Reitman film titled Saturday Night, chronicling the 90 minutes leading up to the very first episode of SNL in 1975. So we thought we'd celebrate here on the Movie Draft Podcast and draft SNL alum movies. Bryan, I'll start with you. Welcome back to the pod. It's so good to have you, man. How are you?
It's so good to be back. I'm very excited to be potting with you and Ben. And then, of course, Ashely, it's so exciting to meet you. And I'm so curious to see how it is potting with you because the episodes you've been on, it's very, very interesting. So I'm curious to see where you're going to go this time around. I'm very excited to be here. And I'm very excited to pot about this specific topic.
Bryan, the last time you came on the pod, I believe, was for Steven Spielberg, and I just want to say I stand by my takes. I stand by Jaws for Ready Player One. That was gold level shit.
I'm not anti Ready Player One. I'm
Thank
anti your slander towards Catch Me If You Can.
Well, make a better movie. That's what I say about that.
My God.
Ashely, how are you? Welcome back to the pod. Last time you were on here was the last time. Oh, we were doing high school movies. High school movies. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to be back. Thanks for letting me hang out in the pod.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a real situation where I'm not mistaken, and you did actually really want to be on this pod. And I didn't actually make that up. Ben?
Yes.
Just you and I. No Sophie again. Sophie's out on the streets. Putting in the work that way. Doing justice for the pod at the New York Film Festival. How are you? How's life in Ben's world?
It's not too bad. I'm very curious how this draft is gonna unfold. Because I don't know that I know really your taste in SNL alums, and same with Bryan. But I feel like I have an idea what Ashely wants, and I'm a little worried about that because I think I might want the same things.
Here we go again with the partner dynamic. Yeah, I feel like you guys have your own little like mini draft that you have to go and side quest on here in this draft. The thing is, nobody knows my SNL taste, not even myself. So it's a mystery draft, that's for sure. I mentioned the movie Saturday Night. Let's quickly talk about that before we start diving into actually SNL and our relationship to the famed and storied television show. And then before we get into the draft, Bryan, you and I have seen Saturday Night. It appears that you and I, at least right now, are on a little bit of a Saturday Night Island. I think it's a phenomenal film, and people are out here being like, it's pretty average. I think it's one of the best of the year.
It's pretty egregious how people are not loving this movie the way they should be. And I agree, it's one of my favorites of the year as well. And I haven't seen it since we saw it at TIFF. So I'm curious to see how it's going to land in a regular theater. But what's interesting is that I went to the public screen. You went to a press screen for it. So
I did.
I'd be very curious to see how the dynamic is the second time around for me and everything. I love the film. It's great.
Yeah, I got the chance to interview Jason Reitman, who directed the film as well. And that interview has not gone public yet due to life and TIFF responsibilities. But it's out there. And, if anybody wants to listen to it, hit me up and let me know. I have the audio and maybe we'll put it out into the world. Jason Reitman, cool guy. And his love for SNL is pretty cool. Ben, Ashely, are you guys planning on seeing Saturday Night?
Yes.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Whoa.
I'm excited about it.
Hard
Yeah.
yeses.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's exciting. That bodes well. Hopefully we get 2 more people on the Saturday Night Island over here.
We'll report back.
For us. Yeah, report back. Let me know. One piece of quick housekeeping. Ben, I noticed you put this in the notes. Ben won. What was this? You won, right? That must be a typo.
hands down, definitely beat Sophie. I just want to make sure that's clear. I did beat Sophie.
How come I'm out of that conversation? Why is it? Why am I like not in the running for like, oh, I beat Ethan? That's real good.
All right, I'll rephrase it. I definitely beat Sophie and everyone else on that draft.
Oh my god.
But yes, I did win the Coppola family auction draft.
Yes, you did. And we'll just make a quick delineation here for those of us that don't follow, or for those of you that don't follow us on Twitter. Obviously, follow us there. We put out lots of good content, lots of good clips from the pod, lots of good video clips actually, so you can see lots of cool reactions as we draft. But we do put out a draft or a poll for each draft on Twitter. We also put out that poll on Instagram and Spotify. So Ben, you quite famously did not win on Twitter and were called out, and I had to let the people know. You know, we actually aggregate and we have some other sources. We've got to account for the far right side of Ben's group, and you know, your people are out there. So
we do put a poll on Truth Social. I think that's where a lot of my votes came in from. But it was good to learn that Sophie didn't realize that we're also on Instagram, because she also thought she won the draft because of the Twitter poll. It's like we are on other places. So yeah.
Which I do just want to say, as soon as I replied to that tweet on Twitter from the account of this podcast, she texted our group. So I find that incredibly suspicious that we might have found Sophie's burner account where she's just throwing out accounts. Which is like, I'm pretty sure my team won.
Yeah, we might have to do an investigation into all the things she's won.
You can do that?
I actually have a lawyer on retainer, third party vote counting, ballot counting. Okay. How are we feeling about SNL? How are we feeling about Saturday Night Live? This, of course, draft is centered around this television show. Lots of famous comedians, famous actors have come out of SNL. Bryan, I'll start with you. What does SNL mean to you as a show? What's your relationship to it? And what just does Saturday Night Live mean?
Yeah, I have an interesting history with SNL. I kind of was a late bloomer to SNL. I hopped onto it in my late teens, and I don't exactly remember the episode, but there was some actor that I loved and some musical guests that I loved that happened to be on the same episode. So I'm like, all right, I'll give SNL a watch. I watched highlights throughout the years, but I never sat down to watch a full episode, and I thought it was hysterical. And then I went through this massive deep dive over the years where when Peacock launched and they dropped every SNL episode on there, I would just go back and watch a wide variety of episodes and everything. And when Saturday Night was announced to be coming out, I decided to do an even deeper dive and go back to the original season and watch the entirety of the season. And I love SNL. I will admit that it definitely, and I think a lot of people can agree, it's definitely fumbled over the last few years. It's very on and off. There's one great episode, but then there's a mid episode and then possibly a bad episode. It really depends on the skits that are out and the actors that are hosting it, then the musical guests and what have you. But you cannot deny how influential this series has been. I mean, it just started its 50th season, which is huge. The fact that this has been around for half a century is nuts to me, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. I really don't. And it's amazing too when you see the careers that have blossomed from this show. Some have fared better than others, and others have kind of kept SNL as like the thing to keep them going. There have been some talents of SNL that have stayed with SNL for a very, very long time. And on top of that too, I know this is primarily a film podcast, but some of these SNL actors have found themselves in very established television shows. So it really depends on the medium. Everyone operates on a different cylinder, but I love SNL, and even though I'm not as on top of it as I was years ago, I will still check it out whenever I can, especially if I like the person that's hosting the episode. So there's a reason why SNL has been going on for as long as it has. And again, like I said, not to sound like a broken record, but I really don't think it's stopping anytime soon, because people will keep watching no matter what, even if they don't garner the numbers that they got, say, maybe like 10, 20 plus years ago.
Yeah, I do think SNL is at a interesting inflection point in the culture for sure. Obviously, this is an election year, so we're getting a lot of election coverage, which I think is always has been a big SNL staple. Ashely, what about you? What does SNL mean to you? What's your SNL taste? Who's your favorite prior alum, and which movies do you plan to take? Just so I can write it down, so I know where this pod is headed.
Oh man, well I love the show. It's something I'm the oldest sibling in my family, so all of like the cool shit I learned about was from my older cousins, and they all loved it. And I first started watching when I was like maybe 11 or 12, and Molly Shannon was on the cast, and Will Ferrell and Sherry O'Terry, so it was like that era. And I loved it. Like I got the best of VHS from like 96, 97
Yes.
for Christmas one year. And that same year I also got a karaoke machine, which was a really wacky combo for me because I would record the skits from my television onto cassette tapes on my karaoke machine.
Release the cassette tapes. Release the cassette tapes. Holy cow.
So yeah, I love it. We still watch it. Like the most recent episode with Nate Bargatze, I was dying on the couch. Like,
yeah, it's the Washington's Dream 2 is an all-timer skit for sure. I have a similar history to you, Ashely, but I'll kick it over to Ben real quick because I'm curious as well. Because we are similarly to the Batman collaborative draft, actually, where we were all different generations, so we all had a different affiliation with SNL. Same thing here. We're all relatively different. Different generations. We're actually all 19. That's the problem. So we only know new SNL. Ben, what's your connection to Saturday Night Live?
I think I caught like the tail end of the Sandler Farley area going into the Will Ferrell era, which I don't know. I mean, I think people say it, but like whatever group that you found SNL on is like your favorite, and I think that kind of holds true because I still like think Will Ferrell has got to be on the Mount Rushmore of SNL alum, just like as far as like his post career as well, but obviously all the skits too. So I love SNL. I was a big collector of like the best of DVDs. I had both Will Ferrell, volume 1 and volume 2, so don't worry about that. But even going back and watching like the Eddie Murphy stuff that I wasn't around for, but it's just like, oh man, this guy fucking owned the screen. Like Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood is just some of the funniest shit there is. Gumby, like all that kind of stuff. So I loved going back and discovering all the old SNL stuff that I had missed. But it's still, I agree with you. It's like there's hit and miss season, or not seasons, but like episodes in the seasons. But I think it does go a lot to the guest and how much they can pull because the cast can only do so much. It is crazy to think about creating a brand new show every week. Like I think a lot of it gets taken for granted of just like, oh, wasn't that good? It's like, yeah, because they had 6 days to create a TV show. Like that's kind of fucking nuts, to do something like that. So yeah, they're not all gonna hit, but I don't know. I really enjoy SNL. I'm excited to be doing this draft.
Well, I love to hear that. I think we all have a little bit different take, so I agree with you, Ben. Like, I'm interested to see what direction we all go here. My connection to SNL is that, like, I don't really watch SNL except for some highlights sometimes. With it being election season, I've been watching a lot of the cold opens and a lot of the skits with that. But my youthful connection is, like you, Ben, having like a best of certain type of an actor. I was raised on a best of Chris Farley DVD. That's what I had. My dad was obsessed with Chris Farley. And so like, that's what I got raised on, was that best of Chris Farley DVD. I have it. I still own it. And we actually popped it in a few weeks ago once we put this on our schedule. And I introduced my kids to Chris Farley, and they just know him as the funny guy, which I think is hilarious because like, it's true. He's the funny guy. Like, and this is our first familial foray into skits, into comedy. And there's some gold. There's some gold on those best of DVDs. Let me tell you. I think SNL's got to bring those back. That's the problem. Put SNL on physical media and give us YouTube mashups, but put them on a disc, and we can pay $25, and I think the world's a better place. Agreed, for sure. Good. Physical media reigns supreme again. Okay. What's our strategy going into SNL draft? It's going to be a regular draft. We're going to each have teams of 6. We do have one little nugget, one little twist, one little rule that I will say here in just a minute. Does anybody feel like divulging their strategy, where they might be headed? Because this draft could go in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, I know you're not saying what it is, but there are certain people that have like a lot of good films, so I'm not as worried about drafting them immediately. Like,
oh, interesting.
So just like, oh, okay,
you don't
there's
think
like,
you don't think there's like a
take.
precedence on certain movies?
I mean, not for everyone. You know, there are some people who are just like, these are all about equal for me. If I get any of them, that's great. But there are some where like maybe there's just one movie that this person did that I really want to get. So it's like, do I take that first, even though they may not be the heaviest hitter in SNL history? And that's also like an interesting thing too. Is just like we're doing SNL alum, but it's like, I don't know. Do we have to do SNL like funny? Do all these need to be comedies? You know,
so
or like
this is my question. This is my question, and we'll get into it in a little bit. But I wonder who is going to feel the need to represent SNL? Like, as we put out a graphic, right, and it says the SNL alum movies draft, and there's things on there where people are like, what SNL alum was in that movie? That I don't know. To each their own of how you want to play this draft. Bryan, any strategies? You pulled a quote from a famous SNL actor that's definitely a comedy in my eyes, but not a comedy in a lot of other people's eyes.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure, because obviously a lot of these SNL alum have done comedic work post SNL or even during their time on SNL. And when I was invited onto this pod, I literally spent like 2 hours going through a list of every single SNL cast member.
Oh fuck! So we're all cooked. We're done. I'm literally trying to strategize and make a short list right now as you guys talk. That's where I'm at for this draft.
Okay, I think you're cooked because Ashely and I spent Tuesday night sitting on the same couch away from each other, compiling our list. So,
and I will say too, when I was looking at the list, I was surprised to find certain actors that I didn't even know were on SNL.
Yeah,
like some of them were on for like a season, a half a season. It's insane.
I know exactly where you're going with this, Bryan. So don't try to think you got one up on me, because you don't. Because I've put in my 6 minutes here while everybody else is talking, and I got some deep research. Ben, this is why I disagree with you. This is why I feel like there is precedence for like one movie that needs to go in the first round, one or a handful of movies, because there are some. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. I need to draft so we can do this, so we can talk about this as we draft. Ashely, any strategies?
Yeah, they're secret and atomic.
Fuck. Okay, we're cooked. It's all done. It's all over. Because you guys think it's funny. It's not very funny to me, because I was like, ooh, nobody's going to guess that. That's a good movie. Nobody's going to know that movie. God. Oh, harder draft than I thought it would be. This is so interesting.
Let's fucking go, baby.
Crazy. It's so cool that we've had this on the calendar for like literally 5 months, and I'm scrambling minutes before we record.
It's literally like a scene from the movie, Ethan. You're scrambling. It's all frenetic.
Yeah.
Can you just, please, we got to stop referencing this movie until it's on my team. You got to stop. Please. Enough. Okay, let's go over the draft rules, and Ben, get the spinner ready. I got to put out the good mojo. I got to be first pick. Because whether you guys are luring me into a trap or not, I don't care. I've taken the bait. It's done. It's over. I have already consumed one alcoholic beverage tonight, and look, it's late where all of us are. This is how SNL should happen.
It's literally 11:30 p.m. exactly. So an SNL episode is live right now as we speak.
What?
This is us.
This is drafting strategy at its prime. And to boot, Bryan is a last minute guest. To be honest, so
filling in.
I'm trying my best to like Michael Scott this situation, which is why I felt really good until we all started alluding to movies that Ethan definitely wants on his team, but we're all going to take instead because it's not a draft to win. It's a draft to take movies from Ethan again.
You're pulling like a Scott's tots. I think that's what's going to happen here. You're really going to fuck yourself.
I'm
this
combusting.
Draft.
I haven't even gone over like the rules of the draft, and I'm already literally human Chernobyling like as we speak. I'm pretty positive it's Ashely's presence. Something like Ashely puts up this defensive wall that like all my stuff just like falls flat. You know, like my humor just falls flat, my charm flat, like, and it really gets to me. Really gets to me. That's all it is. Okay. Regular draft. See, all you're doing is laughing at me. This
not
is
even
the
responding
problem.
to it.
You don't even
not even responding to it. I love it.
You guys have me so figured out. We're only 40 episodes. How is this podcast going to survive? Okay. SNL Alum movies. We're doing a regular style draft, meaning that we will each be drafting teams of 6. Now, normally on a regular style draft, we would have categories. Say we're doing a year, of course, action, horror, thriller, Oscar nominee, etc. On this draft, we have decided to not have categories and instead have one singular rule. And that rule is that you may only choose one movie per SNL alum. You cannot build a team revolving around Will Ferrell. You cannot have 6 Eddie Murphy movies. You must have only one per actor.
Okay.
Is that clear to every participant here in the draft?
That is clear.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, I would say that it should be easy to know if this person is an SNL alum or not. It'll be on their IMDb. But I wouldn't put it past anybody in this podcast space to try to be like, oh no, trust me, they were on SNL. So just, let's go by IMDb rules here. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going off of the Wikipedia of like.
There's a Wikipedia for this?
Yeah, for a list of SNL cast members.
Oh man, really?
You. Yeah.
That seems like really beneficial. I'm gonna pull that up. List of SNL cast members wiki. Oh, cool. Yeah, no, that's super beneficial. I wish I knew that before we were 23 minutes into this draft. Okay. Well, this is the reality that we live in. Okay. Any questions before we draft? Because it's time to draft, and if I don't get drafter number 1, this whole thing is kaputs.
Here's a question.
For me, specifically?
Well, I mean, for everyone. This Wikipedia page has them listed by categories. One of the differences being whether you're a featured / repertory player, or whether you're a featured player or a repertory player.
Okay.
Do we want them?
Don't care.
You don't care. Just as long as they were on SNL at some point. All right, cool.
I think that makes the draft more fun because you can try your damnedest to find somebody that might slip through the cracks and be a gem, a hidden gem.
And what's a movie qualify as? What's the definition of a movie role here is what I want to know. How much of the movie do they need to be in?
I don't give a shit. They could be in it. I mean, like.
Okay.
No, this is actually a good question. This is actually fair. This is a good question. I was going to try and rebuttal you in jest, but this is fair. What if they're uncredited in a film?
What?
This is a real question, Ashely. We got to put in the work on the front end.
We got to find out.
The people need to know. Okay, look, I'm not doing this draft. Exactly. I'm not doing this draft and being like, oh, this person was a voice actor and they were uncredited. It said so on their IMDb. And then the listeners are going to be like, that doesn't count.
Oh.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the good input, everybody on this pod. Really appreciate it. We've solved nothing. So let's draft and see what happens.
We'll just see what happens.
Let's see where we go. I guess we cross that bridge when we get there. Okay.
All right.
God, I wish I knew about this wiki. This is very beneficial information.
Hurry and look it up. Okay, you guys ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Let it be known to the listeners that Ben has instead opted for all caps on this
today.
wheel instead of all lowercase, which happened last draft. I think that's notable.
We're just mixing it up.
Well, as you say.
Here we go.
God, if I don't get number 1.
With the first pick. Oh,
no way.
Oh,
God.
Uh-oh.
I honestly did not want that at all. I wanted to see what you guys are going to do.
Okay, Ben
Okay.
gets the first pick of the SNL Alum draft. We could just slow. Oh my God, seriously? I'm cooked. It's over. I think it's highly suspicious that Ben and Ashely got the first two picks. Got to be honest. Oh, yeah, looking good for me. There we go.
Motherfucker.
I got to be honest with you, Brian. Being number 3 is a bad spot. You got the turn. You got the doubles. You know?
God.
To clarify, we are doing a snake-style draft as we do at all times, pretty much always here on this draft, which I did not clarify. So we've got Ben drafting first. Apparently didn't want it, which is a good feeling for me. Ashely drafting second. I will be drafting third. And Brian, you are going to be at the turn drafting fourth. Set the market, baby. Come on, Ben. Tell us. We going serious? We going comedy? Who's the most important SNL alum in the most important movie that's ever existed? Simple question.
You know, I am a co-host of another pod called 24 Minutes of A24.
Oh my God.
I do love an A24 movie quite a bit. And I won't be taking bodies. I know it's kind of what you were thinking, but
wow, hadn't crossed my mind,
with,
but great idea. Love
it
Pete
is a good
Davidson
one.
in that
Oh yeah,
movie.
sorry, yeah, write that down. Write that down.
Adding to the short list.
Damn. Okay, I genuinely did not want this pick because I feel flustered right now on what to take. I'm just gonna take probably my favorite movie on this entire list. I don't know that it's the best, but I want Will Ferrell and Step Brothers.
Damn it.
That's what I'm gonna take.
I think that was the right
his
choice.
best movie, but it's my favorite. And
yeah,
you know, I talked about it before, which is like kind of desert island stuff. And it's like, if you let me pick something, this might be the first movie I take off the stack to watch. So, yeah, I don't know that it's a great pick, but I'm panicking right now. So I'm going to go with Step Brothers and Will Ferrell.
It seems to me like a very good / inline pick for an SNL alum draft. It is a comedy. It's a straight comedy. Starring one of the most famous and most successful SNL alums in Will Ferrell. That has probably had the biggest, if not one of the biggest impacts on SNL alone, if not like the comedy genre in films. Shoot, I didn't think anybody was going to get that. Well, I didn't think anybody was going to pick it. I thought I would fall to number 3 and I would just be like, Step Brothers, pretty good flick, huh? Let's move on. But I guess not.
Well, yeah, I love this movie, man. It's so funny. It's so good. This might be, I mean, him and John C. Reilly have done like a couple movies together now. I think like 3. But to me, this is still the best one, as good as Talladega Nights is.
Name them.
Well,
Name
that's not a good movie, though.
You don't think Talladega Nights is a good movie? All right. Wow.
We'll save that conversation. Brian, where are you at on Step Brothers? You pro?
I am pro Step Brothers. I haven't seen it as much as other Will Ferrell comedies, but it is one that I do very much enjoy. Although there's only one line that I quote, and it's the most obscure line. It's in the beginning of the movie where he's like, I didn't want salmon. I said it 4 times.
Said it 4 times.
And then the A-Punk song is playing underneath it. It's too good.
It's so good.
It's really good.
Probably the best music video to ever come out of a film, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey, Derek, you know what's good for shoulder pain? What? If you lick my butthole.
I mean, like, just peak Catherine Hahn as well. I mean,
oh my God, it really
she's
is.
so
Incredible.
fucking funny in this.
So
Her and
so
Adam
funny.
Scott together, they're amazing. Yeah,
Man.
I love this movie. All right.
Wild film.
You're making me
Okay.
feel better about it. I don't know if it's a move, but I appreciate it.
I think we all just coalesced in an alliance to hype you up. Just
make Ben feel good. Yeah.
Okay, Ashely, you've got the next pick.
I do. I feel nervous, but excited, and I feel good about my decision because, okay, I have to have this person has to be on my team, and unfortunately, there aren't that many to choose from. So I'm gonna take my favorite, Chris Farley. Sorry, Ethan, but I'm picking Tommy Boy.
Fuck off! That's so. Why, Ashely? Why? That's the only movie I wanted in this whole draft. I swear, I'm not even kidding you. Like that my dad is going to listen to this and he's going to be like, I'm so disappointed in you, son. I'm never going to talk to you again. That's how that's going to play out. So you have ruined my relationship with my father. I appreciate that.
There's still Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah.
Oh
come
my
on, you
God.
can do
Give
that.
me a break. Nothing will ever beat Fat Man in a Little Suit.
Yeah. It is pretty amazing.
Housekeeping? Come on, guys. Well, tell me why you love it so much, Ashely, because it's on your team.
Do you know where the weight room is? I mean, what? Like, I've started calling my dog Lewis because when Tommy walks through the factory and says hey to all the people and he's like, hey, Lewis, I just
so
say that it's not even a joke, but it's just like lives in my brain. And now my dog is called Lewis. Like, it's just it's implanted. I didn't do this to hurt you. We all love it.
Yeah, okay. That's what someone who hates you says. They're like, yeah, I actually didn't stick this ginormous 13-inch butcher knife in your back to hurt you.
Yeah.
I thought it would be fun.
What? I mean, this is a competitive draft, is it not? We're trying to build the best team. I mean, that's my first round draft pick.
I don't have to worry about coming back on or being invited back on. This is my draft. This is my pod. You're in a tough situation.
I'm genuinely upset at this pick, like, because he's one of the people where it's like, well, there's really only like one or two that you could pull from, and this is like definitely number one. Yeah, I really fucking panicked with Will Ferrell, didn't I? Jesus Christ, this is a great pick. Tommy Boy's the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a road trip flick. Who doesn't love a good road trip movie?
What did you do? Yeah, not so much here, not so much here. Yeah, it's the best.
Have you seen it?
Have you seen it, Brian? Have you seen Tommy Boy?
Only once a long time ago. I haven't seen it in a very long time. I'm due for a rewatch.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Ethan?
Have I seen Tommy Boy? God, come on, Ben.
Okay.
I love Tommy Boy. I love Tommy Boy.
Have you girls watched it yet, though?
No, unfortunately not. I don't.
Okay.
I think there's too much narrative to Tommy Boy to hold a 6 and a 4-year-old's attention. To be honest, I think you've got to select your moments for Tommy Boy. I think the deer bit could be really funny. I think the ending could be good because it's fast talking, it's moving quick through the factory. I think you've got moments. Obviously, you know, the desk pitch where he goes crazy. I think there's a lot of good moments. Tommy Boy is hilarious and, in my opinion, like one of the very best of the best movies to ever come from an SNL alum. You know, Chris Farley is an entirely different topic. I did recently, unfortunately, get a T-shirt that has a picture of like Chris Farley and Adam Sandler on it. And I hold that T-shirt very dear and near to my heart. Miss Chris Farley every day. So I hope you feel good taking Tommy Boy and having it on your team. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
I can stick my head up a butcher's ass and tell you. God, I love the movie's so good. All right.
Housekeeping, you want mint for pillow? Oh God. Okay. All right.
Kind of hotel.
That brings me to my pick. And this is interesting. We've arrived at an interesting crossroads here because my first pick is off the board. Would have been Tommy Boy. So I hope you feel good about that. My next idea here is that we've gone straight comedy only. Of course, SNL Alum draft. But there are notably many different directions to go here on what qualifies for this draft, who an SNL alum is. Is this draft about drafting movies from an impactful SNL alum? I'm not so sure. It might be to some people, but it's not to me. Frankly, I just want the movies that I like. And so I'm going to do it. I'm gonna go atomic, and I'm taking Oppenheimer. Because it's got Robert Downey Jr. He was on one season of SNL. He won an Oscar. He's the first SNL alum to win an Oscar, and it's Oppenheimer. And I feel like it tilts this draft on its head a little bit. It opens things up, and it makes Ben mad. So it's a 3-fer, and I feel good about that.
I've seen that movie multiple times. So yeah,
you can't. Don't throw that back in my face.
Furious.
Don't throw that in my face.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one that I wanted to take from you. I didn't think it'd be a first round pick. It's a bold move.
It shouldn't be a first round pick. And I got heated after the Tommy Boy pick. And I'm gonna feel that fallout for the entire draft. And people are gonna look at my team and they're gonna be like, "This fucking guy picked Oppenheimer. That doesn't count." And they're like, "What went wrong?" I like Oppenheimer. Good flick. Brian, have you seen this movie? Or you know this movie, at least what it's about, right?
What's Oppenheimer?
It came out like 3 years ago, I think. I don't remember
the
exactly
Oppen mommy of the pod would be so disappointed. I don't think there's much to say about Oppenheimer, but I do just want to note that I had what it took to move this draft in an unconventional direction.
Took a mid flick with your round one pick. So good job.
Okay.
Will you just change all of your bios to say, I don't think there's much to say about Oppenheimer? Direct quote.
Yeah. That's actually my pull quote on the poster. I don't think there's much to say about this movie.
Not much to say.
Okay. Brian, you've got the back-to-back pick here, which could be dangerous because I have a very clear pick that I want next that is going to reshift me in the graces of the listeners. But you can't pick it. That's the thing. Don't be like Ashely. Don't take the things that I want.
Just because you want them doesn't mean that I don't want them. All right. Yeah, it's really interesting to see the directions that this draft could go, as we've alluded to throughout this episode so far. Ben and Ashely picked comedies. Ethan picked the drama. I'm gonna continue the drama route, and I'm gonna go Adam Sandler, Uncut Gems.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's good. I love that. Awesome. Brian, cool.
Did you know he was in that, Ethan?
I actually wasn't aware of this movie until I did my short list research right before we drafted on this.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Cool poster. I hope it's a good flick.
Cool poster.
Yeah. Wouldn't know. I've only seen it about fucking 15 times.
Well, as the guy who's the closest to New York, I feel like it's my obligation to take this for many reasons.
For sure.
I'll say that. No, in all seriousness, I mean, to me personally, I mean, you brought up how Oppenheimer might be maybe the best movie starring an SNL alum, possibly. I think Uncut Gems might take that title for me personally, because I mean, at this stage of Sandler's career, we had seen him do dramatic work before, but we were all very hungry for more dramatic Sandler, because serious Sandler, I think, is incredible. And there have been many actors from SNL that have ventured into dramatic performances for sure. But I think in terms of all the ones that I could think of, I mean, if we're including Robert Downey Jr., yeah, he definitely is one of the top maybe 5 best SNL actors for sure. But I think Sandler is the best one that made the transition from comedy to drama. I just think he's on a whole other level in drama. And you guys have talked about Uncut Gems many times on this podcast, so I don't think there's anything that I could add to it except that it's a masterpiece. And I rewatched it early this year, as I'm sure you did, Ethan, when it was re-released in IMAX, and that was just a very otherworldly feeling, truly. And yeah, it still keeps me up at night that he wasn't nominated for an Oscar, truly. Yeah. Like, it still keeps me up at night. And we're coming up on 5 years since it came out, which is absolutely nuts. I think this day 5 years ago was when I saw it at the New York Film Festival in 2019. And yeah, it's Uncut Gems. What can you say about it that hasn't been said already?
Yeah, not much to say about it, honestly. Just same vein as Oppenheimer.
Exactly.
How many drafts does this make now where Uncut Gems has just purely been stolen from me based on spite? A lot of drafts.
Not enough, yeah. Brian, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Would you have taken Oppenheimer with one of your first 2 picks?
Honestly, it didn't even come to mind. It really didn't come to mind, genuinely.
So there's a world where Ethan could have taken Uncut Gems with his first picks and then gotten Oppenheimer with his second pick. Oh, all right. Yeah. I was just curious.
I thought Ethan was going to choose Uncut Gems first. I genuinely thought he was going to do that just to get out of the way and be like, well, it's with me and I'm good.
Yeah, common sense for sure. I get that. Uncut Gems is great. It's a really good movie. I mean, it's a great Sandler performance. I agree with you. He should have, at the very least, been nominated for Best Actor. He's amazing in this. Yeah, I don't know. This is
Wickedly
just
talented.
wickedly talented, just like
How-
Adele Dazeem.
How we guys? Okay, that's okay. You know, honestly, this pod has scraped out my soul endearing affection for Uncut Gems. To be honest, it's more of a personal journey now.
It's good.
Even no one's picked a single Chris Rock movie. Like, you still have so much.
There's
to
so
choose
many.
from.
So many.
So many to choose.
You're gonna have a solid team.
In a perfect world, yeah, I guess I go Uncut Gems. I was a little afraid that Brian would go Oppenheimer. I think him and I are a little bit thematically aligned on this draft, as we can see with the 2 banger picks in a row.
Yeah.
So I just got worried. Like you, Ben, I panicked.
Yeah, it happens.
I panicked. My number
one
one draft pick had just been stolen from me. I got a little flustered, and now I'm in the well. What are you gonna do? Cool.
All right.
Yeah. Come on, KG. Jesus. Go ahead, just do it again, Brian. Just take a movie that I want. Kick off round 2 with style.
Well, I don't think you're going to want this movie. Truthfully, I don't know where you stand on this movie, so I don't know if you're going to be angry at this. Maybe you will be. I don't know. We're going to go back to Will Ferrell. We're going to take my favorite Will Ferrell film, and that's Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Ooh.
I just
Great
rewatched this earlier today. As Ethan alluded to, very last minute guests on this pod, and I'm like, well, the movie's only like 90 minutes, so why not give it a watch and everything. Truly one of the most quotable movies of all time, celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, which is crazy. The partnership between Adam McKay and Will Ferrell was truly, in my opinion, something else. I thought every film that they made together, I really genuinely like. And I think that this is the best, although Step Brothers is very closely behind. I understand why a lot of people love and celebrate that film, but the passion that you guys clearly had for Step Brothers is the passion that I have for Anchorman. I constantly quote it on a daily basis. I'm in a glass case of emotion. That's literally the story of my life. That's me every single day. 60% of the time, it works every time. Why don't you go home? Why don't you go to your home on Whore Island? Like every single quote. And not just from Will Ferrell, but that entire ensemble knocks out the park. But like truly, Will Ferrell as Ron Burgundy is my favorite performance from him. It's my favorite character that he's brought to life. And it's also cool to know that there was a lot of improvisation with this film. So I don't know how much of the script was utilized in the final cut of the movie, and just seeing all the bloopers and sequences that were deleted from the theatrical cut, and then they made like a special edition that was like a side movie, but really it was just extended scenes from the film and everything. But yeah, one of the great comedies of all time, one of my absolute favorite comedies. And low key, I am very happy that your co-host is not here, because she has vocalized her disdain for this movie, and it makes me disgusted, truly, because this movie is a fucking gem. It really is. It's so fucking funny, and it never gets old for me. I wish I was a little higher on the sequel personally, but you know, not all sequels could stick the landing, especially comedy sequels. But that first Anchorman is tremendous, and there's a reason why it's still regarded as one of the great comedies of the 21st century.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with Anchorman. It's okay. It's remarkably overrated. I gotta be honest, bro. I actually lean closer to Sophie's take on this one.
I feel like you're higher on it though than she is.
Yeah, probably. I think there's definitely like moments that I like in Anchorman, but I think what it has done for the legacy, not only of Will Ferrell, but of like straight comedy movies, especially like Adam McKay style comedy movies, is much greater than like the film itself, in my opinion. I'm sorry to bring it down.
Were you a late bloomer to it? Were you a late bloomer to it?
To Anchorman? No.
Yeah.
It's not a long time ago. I feel like I saw it at the right time in my life.
Do you have a favorite quote from it at least?
I couldn't pull one off the top of my tongue. Overrated movie.
Bitch.
Wow.
You pick Uncut Gems, and this is what you get. Wow. I don't know what to tell you.
Sorry,
Expect the worst.
He's making himself feel better.
Ashely, are you pro Anchorman?
So yeah, this movie knocked me on my ass. Like, I used to hang out with my cousins, who's a few years younger than me, and he and his friends wanted to ride to the movie theater, and I was the only one with the car. And I was like, I'll take you, but you guys have to pay for my ticket, because I didn't know what they were going to see, but I was going to go with them. And we saw Anchorman, and I cried like during the movie. It was so fucking funny. It was like I hadn't seen anything like it at that point. Will Ferrell, like again, like this might be his best character, is Ron Burgundy. And this, like you said, the supporting cast, Carell, Paul Rudd, David Koechner, like they're all doing an amazing job. Yeah, I don't know what it's like to be wrong, Ethan, but this movie is great. And I think it's a solid pickup.
Wrong Burgundy.
Wrong Burgundy. Yeah, we changed your name to that. Just Wrong Burgundy.
I hope the listeners are having a great time.
How many times do I have to tell you he always reads from the prompter?
It's, I love inside jokes. Love to be a part of one someday. I don't know. Movie's not very good. I don't know what to tell you.
Have a better taste in film.
Oh my God. I just drafted Oppenheimer, the best picture winner of last year. Like, what do you mean have better taste in film? That's as good as it gets. It literally won best picture.
I mean, I feel like this is coming from the person whose favorite Adam McKay movie is Don't Look Up. So take it with a grain of salt.
It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. I feel like right now I've been lured into the middle of a Coliseum. And there's just so many bold takes in the middle that I'm just chomping at. And you guys are locking down the outside doors and you're putting in the lions. That's what's happening because, Ben, you set me up. I got to defend. Don't Look Up. Pretty good movie.
Okay. Your pick. Can you draft that? Is anyone in SNL in that movie?
I don't know, but I got to be honest. I'm doing some hardcore researching on some faves of mine to see if we can float some stuff out there.
Oh, boy.
But I guess I got to buy myself some time. Okay. So, Uncut Gems is off the board. Anchorman wasn't even on my short list. That's how bad that movie is. Okay.
When we were talking about doing categories, I did come up with one that I thought would benefit you. And maybe we can save this for another one. But I thought it'd be fun if we did movies from people who have been 5-time hosts of SNL. Because Emma Stone would have qualified, and you could have taken La La Land.
Short list. That would have been good.
That would be kind of a cool list. So maybe we'll save that for the next SNL draft.
5-timers club, baby.
5-timers club. Yeah, it's a good group to pull from. That's for sure.
That's pretty swell idea. That would have been pretty fun. That would have been pretty fun. Except I would have picked. Yeah, I guess I would have picked La La Land. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Come
on. Where do I go? I feel like the double drama is risky. I feel like the double drama is maybe not a precedent I want to set on this pod. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm curious.
I just need your opinion. Do you guys think that's a good idea to draft another dramatic film?
Let's help you with your draft here.
If you could, that'd be great. Yeah, what the hell? I like it as a pick. I think it's a little sly, and I want it. And I just feel like there's on my list. There's enough wiggle room that I can really work around and fill out my other 4 spots without being like super worried that my favorites are going to be taken like they were in the first round here. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be that guy, and I will be taking Inglourious Bastards. Mike Myers, former SNL alum.
Okay.
I see. I've shocked Mr. Bryan Sudfield here on the pod.
I completely forgot he was even in that movie, to be honest.
Ethan finally wins one. One for the good guys.
Wow.
Was this on your short list, Ben or Ashely?
It was on mine. Yeah, I actually talked to Ashely about it because I didn't know if it would end up on anyone else's list.
Yes.
And that's also where my question came from earlier of just like, how much of a role do they need to have in the movie? Like, does a 5-minute scene... I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying he's in there for 5 minutes.
No. That's what I meant. Like, he's good. Like, he passes the bar. He's in it for enough, I believe.
Okay. All right.
I feel like he is. I mean, I didn't even have to research that. I was just like, oh, Mike Myers is in Inglourious Bastards. That tells me that he was in it enough, or that I have a problem and that I just watched too many movies. Both are true. So we win.
Well, I think this is a wonderful pick for tallying a team of like best movies. I do think this is Tarantino's best movie. Yeah, I think it's a good pick on your part.
Brian, is Inglourious Bastards Quentin Tarantino's best film?
Not in my book, but it is great. I do love it. It's a very inspired pick, Ethan. It actually is a really, really dope pick. And
Thank you.
Yeah, I said that I forgot that he was in it, but as I'm reminiscing my thoughts and everything, I do remember really loving his time on screen in that movie because it was just like a major what the fuck moment, just seeing Mike Myers of all people in a Quentin Tarantino film, and especially that film of all films too. It's pretty crazy. And if Tarantino ever makes his 10th film, hopefully he brings another SNL alum a part of it. Because if I'm not mistaken, has he worked with any other SNL alum?
That's a really good question.
That is a good question.
I don't know.
Wow. The question I don't have an answer for.
He can get Chris Rock some more work, Add to that IMDb. Put that on there.
Oh, my Lord. Lord have mercy. Okay. Well, I've done it. I've done the double drama.
Okay. Double
Ashely,
D.
it's back to you.
Double D's.
Me again? Why did I get a bigger laugh when you said it?
I don't know.
Bullshit.
I was just repeating what you said. It's funny.
Okay. Let me just look at my list here real quick.
How big is your short list, Ashely? Do you feel confident going 6 rounds with us?
Dude, I don't have a short list. I have a long list, and I have my own
wow.
categories. I have
What? Oh God.
yeah, I have a system
Okay.
here. Okay. All right. I think
If you could draft anytime, that'd be great.
Are you kidding? The guy who's like, let's see here. So I can't take this movie now. Wow. Let me think. That's gone. Tommy Boy is still gone. What else? What else?
Quite a good impression of me.
Thank you.
No, I can't not choose this movie because I've seen it too many times with and without the commentary. I should have played it for a high school draft, honestly. I'm gonna go with Mean Girls.
Great
Okay.
pick.
Another good pick.
Yeah, Tina Fey, famously the first female head writer of the show, went on to write and star in a hilarious movie, also so quotable. Many other alum making appearances. We've got Maya Rudolph.
Tim
No, we
Meadows is
don't.
in this film as
Maya
well.
Rudolph isn't in this at all. Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler's in it.
God. Well, you've lost the ability to draft it, actually. You got it wrong.
On the
So we're going to
gas
withdraw.
iron?
On a gas iron, yes.
Yeah. So good.
So this brings an interesting point of contention to the draft that I don't think necessarily matters too much in this situation, but Mean Girls, you do have a few people to choose from here. You have Amy Poehler, you've got Tina Fey, you've got Tim Meadows. Who will you be selecting this under? Because you have the ability to only pick one actor, right?
Oh,
So
I
if you
see.
do take this as
Okay.
a Tina Fey film, that'll knock out any future Tina Feys. Another little strategy nugget here. Who do you want me to associate with this film for you?
Tina Fey, please.
Not the choice I would have taken, but interesting and bold. I recognize that and I see that. Good for you.
A lot of other Tina Fey movies you want to draft.
There's some out there. That's all I'm going to say.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. You get another drama on
One of the greatest movies of the 2000s. Yeah, duh.
All right. I like your strategy.
Yeah, I like.
And just to be
Mean
clear,
Girls.
you're drafting Mean Girls and not Mean Girls the movie based on the musical, the movie, right? You're drafting the first Mean Girls.
Yeah.
I was really hoping we wouldn't bring that up today.
Shoot, yeah.
The movie based on the musical based on the movie.
A lot of clarification questions on this pick. Very interesting.
You know, I like to know what the rules are. You can't break them unless you know them, you know?
Okay. Shoot. Well, I like Mean Girls. Now talk about a good comedy. Mean
Yeah.
Girls is great. I really like Mean Girls, and it's got a lot of staying power.
I'm not a regular mom.
I'm a
I'm
cool,
a cool mom.
Okay. Ben, you've got the double.
All right. Damn, there's just so many ways to go with this, and I still don't really know what to do, but
You've had so many picks to ideate to figure this out.
true. That is very true. I know what I'm doing with my first one, and I'm going to go with my favorite Sandler, and I'll be taking The Wedding Singer.
I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I love Big Daddy. I love Uncut Gems. Like, I mean, I love Sandler just in general. He is one of those where I'm just like, I don't know. I could get like quote unquote stuck with anything and I'd probably be okay with it. But right now I feel like I just really want The Wedding Singer on my team. I love that movie. Him and Drew Barrymore, I think, have really great chemistry. That final scene on the airplane is just like one of the best, you know, Billy Idol. Like I love that whole sequence. I listened to the soundtrack a lot in high school. Both of these soundtracks, I guess, like both volumes. Yeah, I don't know. I think Wedding Singer is awesome.
Both volumes of the Wedding Singer soundtrack and the Will Ferrell best of.
Listen,
You're an addict.
you're with a collector, you know.
Collector.
A collector. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, self-taught, no lessons. That gets quoted around our house quite a bit.
So
love
much.
Buscemi in this movie. So I don't know. Yeah, this is just, I think, has become my favorite Sandler over time. So I'm super stoked to have it.
Nice. It's a good movie. I like The Wedding Singer. I've seen it a total of 1 time, and I left, and I had a great time. And I said, man, Adam Sandler, you're a funny guy. And then I went about my life.
Can I clear something up with you, Ethan? If I remember correctly, your first 2 Adam Sandler movies were Punch Drunk Love and Uncut Gems.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah.
So you missed all of his 90s comedies at the time.
I did, yeah. I mean, look, born in 94, you know, what are you going to do? That's on my parents. That's not on me.
That's on them. I blame them.
That's on them. Yeah, if you could actually, my dad's already disappointed me enough for not drafting Tommy Boy. So if you could just blame him again for you know, conceiving me many years late.
The wrong time.
Yeah, that would go
Sandler's prime.
That would go very far. And just write him a nice handwritten letter. He'd really get the message.
Okay, I'll let him know.
Yeah, but no, true. I'm definitely more of the Sandler is better dramatically than comedically. But I will say in the Chris Farley like best of DVD that I had, it ends with Adam Sandler singing Lunch Lady Land because Chris Farley is a big part of that. And I did happen to one time be at a bar where there was karaoke and someone whipped out Lunch Lady Land and I stood in applause for the entire performance. And I thought it was one of probably the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Nice.
So if I could draft that, I would draft that.
That'd be awesome.
It's a great karaoke pick.
Yeah.
It kind of is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I was drunk and I texted both of you and nobody texted me back. So I just want that to be out in the world.
You're good at ghosting.
So rude.
Wow.
Okay, well, that's too bad. You've picked Adam Sandler, so you will not be drafting the Cobbler or Sandy Wexler. That's unfortunate. You really missed the boat on that one.
That's true. That is unfortunate.
Or Pixels.
Or Pixels. Yeah, unfortunately, Josh Gad wasn't on SNL, so I can't take Pixels. Ryan, have you seen The Wedding Singer? Do you like the movie?
I do like The Wedding Singer. I really enjoyed that one. I would love for Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore to do one more comedy together, but I wanted to kind of be on the same level as this. I do like 50 First Dates as well. The one where they go to the Africa or wherever, that one was not very good. But
oh yeah, what was that one?
Blended.
Talking about Blended.
Yeah, that one wasn't very good. But really enjoyed The Wedding Singer. I really enjoyed that one.
Can I bring something interesting to the pod just as a very quick digression? I'm looking at Adam Sandler's IMDb. And this is interesting. I've never seen this before. The Wedding Singer, 1998. He's obviously credited for this film. Right after it, also 1998. And of note, The Wedding Singer rated 6.9 stars. Right next to this is another 1998 entry. Australian premiere of The Wedding Singer. Same runtime. 9.7 stars.
Whoa.
What's going on with that IMDb entry? Who did that?
Dang.
And what does it mean? I'm not sure.
Yeah, what is that? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Did he dub it like in an Australian accent? That would be kind of funny. I like that.
Release the Australian cut of The
let's
Wedding
hear it.
Singer. God, come on. All right. Ben, you've got one more pick.
It's true, I do. Damn. All right, I'm taking a page out of Ethan's book here. I'm doing a one season wonder because I love this movie and I want to have it on my team. But
I'm just looking at the Google Doc and Ethan put Tim Meadows next to Mean Girls.
Oh, because I wish he would pick Tim Meadows.
maybe she wants to take the ladies, man. You know, come on. I'm gonna be
my
taking.
part, after all, I actually changed people's draft pick after the fact.
Yeah. Maybe not a traditional SNL alum movie. I do think he was funny on his one season on SNL, but I'm going to be taking Billy Crystal in When Harry Met Sally.
Fuck!
Whoa.
Yeah.
No!
Yes.
No!
Were you?
It was literally my next pick.
That's what I was worried about. That's why I wanted to grab it now. Yeah, I mean, what do you say about When Harry Met Sally? Other than like it's just an amazing movie, great, New York movie, fall movie. I think I'll get Sophie's vote with this movie, so that's exciting.
That's if I didn't lock it up with Inglourious Bastards. I was literally caught between two worlds. I was trying to obtain Sophie's vote, and I was like, which one matters more? And it probably is When Harry Met Sally, but I figured I'd have a shot with Inglourious Bastards.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, he's hilarious in this movie. Again, like just one season on SNL, that weird year without Lauren, when they just got a bunch of different people to show up. I think it's like 84, 85, but I don't know. When Harry Met Sally, I love it.
Yeah. I had a weekend recently without my family. They took a girls' trip to visit some grandparents, so I had the weekend to myself. And what did I do on Sunday morning? I woke up at 7:30 and I brewed myself a French press of coffee and I watched When Harry Met Sally, and my life was pretty good. I got to be honest. For that very short amount of time, I was living in it.
Oh yeah,
it's a perfect movie, and it might be one of the top 5 screenplays of all time. I mean, like I guess I'm pretty positive that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Billy Crystal's lights out in this movie. I was just like sobbing, tears of joy and tears of sadness. The whole movie. It's great.
Did you quote "I'll have what she's having" when it came up on the movie? You sit on your couch with your coffee, just like, "I'll have what she's having."
I actually whispered it like that. I was like, I'll have what she's having.
It's the scene. Here it is.
Yeah, this movie's a masterpiece.
Agreed.
Hey, was anybody else going to draft this movie? Was it on the list for you guys?
No.
Hey, it wasn't on the list. That's startling to me.
I had a different Billy Crystal film that I would have drafted, but that is his best work, hands down. That's the best film that he's ever been a part of.
Agreed. 1A, 1B with Monsters, Inc.
Well, Monsters University, but let's be clear.
Okay, all right. Let's move on.
I think that's 3 movie hot takes on this pod. I'm feeling really good about it. Really confident. Ashley, you've got another pick.
Okay. All right. Since Inglourious Bastards is gone, I guess I'm gonna have to
try to throw that in my face. That means nothing to me. I don't care.
I'm scared.
I'm going for votes here. I'm picking Shrek.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Wow. Well done.
Do it. That's a vote getter.
That's a big vote getter.
God damn it, this is not a good first impression, Ashley.
This draft has been so much more cutthroat than I would have ever anticipated. I had no clue we were going to step on each other's toes like this.
Oh,
guys, we're in the 3rd round. Bryan had a double pick. I don't know. You only have
cross off Eddie Murphy too. I mean, it's a
yeah. I guess who are you taking?
SNL
Are you taking
bill.
Mike Myers or Eddie Murphy? Which one?
Tim Meadows. Go ahead and put it down for Tim.
Can I write Tim Meadows into this one as well? Who do you want me to write? Mike Myers?
Mike Myers, yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't have picked that, but that's fair.
Okay.
Okay.
To think that Farley was supposed to play that character, like how interesting that would have been.
It would have been great.
It would have been so good.
Brian, I take it you like Shrek.
Shrek is my favorite anime film of all time.
Nice.
Wow, Shrek head in the building.
I'm a huge Shrek. I know everybody prefers Shrek 2 over Shrek 1, and I love Shrek 2 as well. Shrek 1 to me is the best animated film that I've ever seen, and it's incredible that it was the first recipient of the Best Animated Feature Oscar. I don't think they could have given it to a better film, although the other 2 films nominated that year were really strong. I mean, Monsters, Inc., which we just brought up, that was one of them. And Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. I'm a huge Jimmy Neutron guy, so that's kind of a based lineup of nominees. Nice. But no, Shrek is incredible, and the fact that it's an animated film that caters to everybody of all ages is insane. And it's kind of a reminder that we really don't get a lot of animated films like that anymore, because a majority of studio animations, not all of them, but there are a few exceptions, a lot of them do tend to cater towards children. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like a film like Shrek, to have a lot of entertainment for the children, but then also have a lot of entertainment for the adults is something that we don't really see anymore with American animation. And I don't know, it's a very timeless film. It's literally a fairy tale, and it makes fun of fairy tales, but it also acts as a fairy tale by following the fairy tale tropes. And yeah, I mean, it's so fucking funny. It's so good. And are any of us excited for Shrek 5? I'm excited, but I'm also very scared. I'm very scared for it. I can't lie. But I am excited that they're all coming back for it. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great everyone's coming back. Maybe diminishing returns on the movies as they go on. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this one will kick it back into gear.
When does Shrek 5 come out? That's like 2026?
July 2026.
2026. Okay, so in 2 years. So I'll have an 8 and 6-year-old, which is
literally
gonna be prime Shrek territory.
Yeah. It's gonna literally come out, Ethan. It's gonna come out, I think, 2 weeks before Nolan's next movie, which they just announced time of recording. What, yesterday? Time of recording? Yeah.
Here's the thing: Shrek's animated. Tough beat. You know, what are you gonna do? Animated films, not ideal.
Oh my God!
Just the take machine is out tonight. I love it. Couple drinks in it.
Here we go again.
I told you, Ashley's presence on this pod is only harmful to me. It's a problem. I don't get it.
I think Shrek 5 will be maybe when we do the SNL draft 2. Maybe that's we'll do part 2.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea. Or worst movies of all time. It might qualify for that. Who knows? Okay. I'm excited for you guys. I will be seated for Shrek 5. My kids will want to go. There's no doubt about that. All right. Is it my turn?
Unfortunately.
Shoot. Okay. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. Should we talk it out? Can we talk through this together?
I appreciate how much shit you give me for not knowing what to do. You're like, let's vamp for a bit.
Move this along here. Anytime you want to make your pick.
It's the problem of the 3 spot. Like, the 3 spot is literally the worst place you could be. Because I got to sit through Ben with the double, then Ashley. Then I get 1 pick, and then I got to sit through Bryan with a double again. I am in the most vulnerable drafting spot in this entire pod. Because things are just taken to the left and to the right of me.
Yeah.
But I feel pretty confident about this one. I'm going to go, I got to get a comedy on the board. This is the SNL Alum draft. I feel like I'd do a disservice if I didn't at least get one very recognizable comedy on the board. And I'm trying to pull it up real fast so I can actually speak to the merits of this film appropriately. Because I feel like it garnered some attention. And it was kind of a big deal in the comedy world. I will be taking a movie that was nominated for 2 Oscars. I'm going to be taking Bridesmaids, starring Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph.
Nice.
Some SNL people, but I will be taking it under Kristen Wiig. Because even though she's in some other good movies as well, I feel like Bridesmaids is the place to burn her slot. Good movie. I need to rewatch it. Hilarious, though.
It's so fucking good.
It's very good.
Some of the best drunk acting. That whole airplane sequence is just prime. I love it.
Great drunk acting, great anxiety acting, like all around fantastic performance.
Yeah, I like this movie.
And the physical humor of them like all having to shit, like it's just funny. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
It's
and
the
then
oldest joke,
and then it
hilarious.
ends with the best. It ends with the cherry on top of her shitting in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people give credit to Maya Rudolph and how great of an actor she is. She's fantastic.
She's so
PTA needs to like give her a role to like meet up and everything because she's married to him. It's like you're married to one of the great filmmakers working today. Write a cool role for her, man.
I think this movie's so interesting because I don't know another time where you could say a comedy is nominated for 2 Oscars, let alone a best supporting actress role. Like that's insane.
It's
to
a
me.
rarity.
Like,
It's a
it is
rarity.
a massive rarity. It found the Academy at the exact right moment where they wanted this, needed this, what have you. Also nominated for Best Original Screenplay, which is just bananas in my opinion.
Straight up comedies don't get nominated for screenplay that much anymore. It's always like dramedies, but this is a straight up comedy with some dramatic beats in it. But it's more so a comedy than it is a dramedy.
Shit, that is fresh.
Shit, that's
honestly,
good.
if Melissa McCarthy would have won, who beat her? Because Melissa McCarthy,
Octavia Spencer for The Help.
Ooh, tough beat, you know. 2013 Best Supporting Actress.
2013.
It's 2012. Yeah, no, you guys are right. I'm sorry. I thought I had to go the year forward. We had Jessica Chastain nominated for The Help. Wow, 2 people nominated for The Help and Melissa McCarthy. Wow, that's interesting. Very interesting. What do you guys think about the movie Albert Nobbs? Also nominated for an Oscar.
Who has seen that?
Oh, wow.
Let's save it for the Glenn Close draft, all right?
Are there even any Glenn Close fans listening to this podcast?
Identify
There's
yourselves.
one in the room.
Let me know.
Yeah.
I own Albert Nobbs. I own the physical 2 copies.
Wow, you probably bought all 2 produced.
Where
That's
does
crazy.
101 Dalmatians lie on your ranking of Glenn Close?
Oh, her performance as Cruella de Vil is
Banging.
pretty
So
iconic.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, you've got the double. End
All
out the
right.
3rd round. Bring us into the 4th.
Okay. All right. So for me, I am going to circle to Eddie Murphy, and I'm going to take Coming to America, another great New York film, another wonderful New York film. Eddie Murphy plays like 6 characters in this movie, and it's absolutely insane how he's able to pull off every single one of these characters and differentiate them from each and every one of them. We recently lost James Earl Jones very recently, and his performance as Prince Akeem's father is electric. It's incredible. There's a lot of great comedic delivery from him, and it's undeniable how much of a talent he was, because everyone obviously thinks of him right away as Darth Vader and Mufasa, but in the roles that he did outside of Star Wars and The Lion King, he was a really exceptional actor, and he's great. But Eddie Murphy, I love Eddie Murphy. I think a lot of the comedies that Eddie Murphy did in the 80s were wonderful, so it was definitely hard to pick which 80s comedy from Eddie Murphy I was going to pick, but Coming to America has always been my favorite of his filmography in terms of the straight up comedies, and it's great. And fuck you, yes, fuck you too.
This is the first pick that was on my short list. You guys have all picked this random.
Oh,
I don't
Wow,
know.
God, slander. That's
Oppenheimer and shit.
unreal.
But like, yeah, Coming to America was the first one that I feel like, oh, I wanted that.
Well,
It's a
you
great
took
pick.
you took Shrek away from me, so I had to choose another Eddie Murphy movie.
It's
Well,
a
you
solid
chose a good
pick. Yeah.
one.
Yeah, without a doubt. I haven't seen this in quite a while, but this is a great movie. I think, I don't know, man. With Eddie Murphy performances, this might be one of his best.
Literally.
Agreed.
Ethan?
Pretty good. No,
Never
no,
seen
fair.
it.
Fair, pretty good. No, come on. I've seen
Never
it.
seen it.
I've seen it.
I decided to watch Oppenheimer for the 12th time, so I didn't watch Coming to America.
Probably true, actually.
He probably popped on Coming to America.
Oh yeah, I just
Well,
watched the sequel
That's
first.
what I typed into the doc before I realized, he probably doesn't mean the sequel. No, it's a good pick. It's a fine pick. What's your next pick, Brian?
So my next pick, Ethan, you brought up Robert Downey Jr., who was only on for 1 season. Ben, you brought Billy Crystal, who was on for 1 season as well. I'm going to do a crazy thing and choose someone that was on for literally half a season.
Okay.
Wow. Well, this is fascinating.
So this person has starred in a lot of comedies that I love. He's done some dramas that I love. He's worked with some of the most talented filmmakers out there, and he's established himself as a pretty talented director as well.
Brian.
So I am going to choose Tropic Thunder, and Ben Stiller is going to be my pick.
Fuck, that's
Nice.
a great pick. That's an inspired pick.
Sick pick.
Sick pick,
That's
bro.
a sick pick.
Tropic Thunder is so good. I rewatched it recently. It's still underrated, in my opinion. It's unreal
It's
what
so
happens
good.
in this movie.
It's so good. And, you know, for a movie about the film industry, it's honestly really spot on to how the film industry is and how actors are and everything. And just like Tug Speedman, first of all, fantastic character name. A lot of people really don't talk about Ben Stiller's performance in this movie because he is genuinely hilarious in this film. I mean, it goes without saying, like, I mean, I don't want to beat around the bush. Robert Downey Jr. is the MVP of this movie, and I think that that's been an ongoing discussion ever since this movie came out. Oscar-nominated performance, which is insane. And low-key, if The Dark Knight did not come out that year, Robert Downey Jr. honestly could have walked away with that Oscar, and that would have been one of the most badass, inspired, best supporting actor winners of all time.
Wouldn't it have been insane if they gave it to him anyway?
It would have been wild, to say the least. And it's funny too because the person that they did give it to was also covered in makeup throughout the entirety of the movie. So it is kind of interesting if they went down that route too. But no, it's a very fascinating commentary on how movies are made, and then of course it pokes fun at the prestigious war films, especially those that were centered on the Vietnam War, and then method acting, especially because, I mean, Robert Downey Jr.'s character goes against the grain with method acting, but then Ben Stiller's character is trying to have a resurgence after doing arguably one of the worst reviewed films of all time in, what was it, Smilin' Jack?
Yeah, Happy Jack.
Happy Jack.
that's so funny.
It's too good. And the fact that he directed this too, I mean, he directed the hell out of this. It's probably my favorite thing that he's directed, although I genuinely believe that he is a very underrated filmmaker. I don't think a lot of people talk about his ability behind the camera as much as they should. Reality Bites and
that's just so good.
and Zoolander and on TV
Brian,
too.
there's tons of stuff on the board.
Yes,
There's tons of stuff on the board here. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yes.
You don't know if Ben Stiller hasn't, is done.
Okay, fair enough. But I will shout out a TV show because this is obviously a film podcast. His work that he does on Severance is amazing, and it's insane that serious show is directed by someone who's primarily from a comedic background. I love Ben Stiller. He genuinely is one of my favorite talents ever, and when I found out that he was on SNL for half a season, it's absolutely wild. And then he did his own variety show, and then that got canceled, and he won an Emmy, which is also a very inspiring story. Love the guy. Tropic Thunder is gonna be my pick for this. Ben Stiller, what a guy, truly.
That's a good pick. I wanted that pick.
Possibly one of our most successful Nepo babies of all time.
I believe so.
Gotta be in the discussion.
Absolutely.
I think.
Well,
absolutely.
Maya Hawke stuns and Maestro, but that conversation aside.
Okay.
Of all the things.
Hey, her scene. Come on, that's pivotal to the Maestro.
My God.
Pivotal to Maestro.
Yeah, when's the Nepo Babies pod? When's that pod?
We got to make it happen.
We've got to do that.
I'm shocked it hasn't
Jamie Lee
happened
Curtis, there's some great stuff to pull from.
Yeah, there's some good stuff to pull. Shoot.
I just want a chance to talk about Maestro again. Jesus.
I really wanted Tropic Thunder. Really wanted that. It wasn't on my list, but since you picked it, now I really wanted it.
Did you know that he was on SNL before we recorded this episode?
No. I did not know that. Which again, listeners probably gonna be mad, but you can't know them all. You can't watch them all. That's just part of life, part of pod.
Gotta watch Oppenheimer again.
Gotta find better guests and watch Oppenheimer again. Shoot. Well, it comes back to me.
Have we vamped enough for you?
No, quite honestly, no. I have no clue. No clue what to do. Okay, I have some semblance of an idea. I have a couple things on my short list that I've highlighted that I want to pick that I think I can get towards the end. But we're nearing essential territory where I feel like I don't, even though Bridesmaids is essential, I feel like I'm missing another essential SNL. This is the SNL alum draft.
Mm-hmm.
With that, I will, in fact, be taking a movie that I think is pretty pivotal, not only to SNL, but to comedy in general. I just need to make sure it qualifies. I'm looking on my wiki here.
Oh,
yeah, it qualifies. Okay, good. I don't want to like put the pick out there and just cause a shitstorm. I gotta vet my sources.
How can it be like quintessential SNL and you don't even know if it qualifies?
Because listen, because it features two people from SNL, one of which I have already chosen. So I needed to make sure the other person is applicable, and they are. I'll be taking Wayne's World, and I'll be picking this for Dana Carvey. Yeah. Wayne's World is hilarious. It's so good. I generally don't like Mike Myers, and I don't really like his comedy style, but Wayne's World is like the singular exception that I think works on like pretty much every level and is a straight pull from SNL. Speaking of like SNL alums, this is one of the very few movies that I believe is based on a sketch. So Wayne's World. Wayne's World, you know?
Pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Party on.
Why wasn't that my quippy intro?
Oh, she's been so good. I don't even own a gun.
This is a good movie. This is a very funny movie.
It's a really good movie. I'm just still processing the fact that you had to look up if Dana Carvey was on SNL.
Before my time. Listen, I have the out. It was before my time. Dana Carvey, 1989 to 1993. That's not my group of SNL people. I just, you know.
Yeah,
93, the year before you were born.
Yeah, what's like the grace period here? Am I supposed to go like 5 years prior or 5 years after?
What if you were conceived on Dana Carvey's last appearance on SNL in 93?
Now, this is interesting podcast material.
Yeah, it's possible.
I would like to know if we could contact my parents for a third time.
We can't rule it out. What were you doing that night? Let us know.
That night, Dana Carvey was on SNL. I know exactly what was happening.
He was Garth Algar on the screen. Is that when this happened?
Of course, looking at the wiki, Dana Carvey did impersonate George H.W. Bush, which is pretty iconic as well.
Among others, yeah. He's like one of the best for sure.
Shout out to Dana Carvey. He's so fucking good as Garth. Like, just even his introduction when they go into the car before they do that incredible Bohemian Rhapsody scene. This is my best friend Garth Algar. Hi.
Abraham Lincoln, like it's, and honestly, like he's still doing it now with his Biden, like on his most recent episode, like he's hilarious. So Dana
do you guys listen to the podcast that he co-hosts with fellow SNL alum David Spade?
No, I didn't know the other one.
Oh, it's so good. It's a great pod. I'm not huge on David Spade, but they have a great dynamic together. I love Dana Carvey, so I knew I had to listen.
I was wondering what David Spade was up to.
Wow.
He's waiting for Grown Ups 3, probably.
Yeah. Good old modern David Spade. Hilarious.
Sounds like Wayne's World was a hit. Was a hit pick. I feel good about that.
Wow. Did it. First one down. Good job.
Finally got one in the bag. We finally chose the right one.
25% success rate. You did it.
All right, Ashely. You're up.
Okay. All right. Let's go with
do it.
With the holiday we got coming up, I'm going to pick Ghostbusters.
Oh,
nice.
Wow.
I didn't think you were going there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I got to get Dan Aykroyd on the board.
I also didn't know you were going there. Very interesting.
Now, wait, we have to clarify. Are you going with Ghostbusters or are you going with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire?
Oh.
That's fair. Good question.
Or Answer the Call. I think he's also in that one.
What if I picked the reboot with all the ladies?
Yeah, exactly. Take that one.
Yeah, that's fair.
I thought about it.
Are you big on Halloween, Ashely? You big Halloween goer?
I love Halloween, yeah.
Who are you going as this year?
I'm not dressing up.
Mrs. Oppenheimer? No? Okay.
Goes Emily Blunt. Yeah.
I'll go with you. We could parade around the streets. If you are Garth, I'll be Wayne. How about that?
Okay.
You be Wayne's World.
Deal.
I like it.
Or per Brian's suggestion, we could all just dress up as characters from Megalopolis, which I'm fine with as well. Either one works.
Oh, it means we have to see it.
Yeah.
If you take him under Aykroyd, that means you can't take My Girl or The Great Outdoors. So just something to keep in mind.
I didn't think about The Great Outdoors.
Yeah.
I do have My Girl written down here, but no, I'll take him. I could do either him or Bill.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick another one. It doesn't really matter. Put Tim Meadows down.
How is Tim Meadows the fall guy for all this? You know, he put out good work. Don't throw him under the bus.
Yeah, I know. He's great.
Ghostbusters is a good pick. Classic. I gotta show my girls Ghostbusters. I saw Ghostbusters way too early in my childhood, and I was very scared and scarred. And I hope to do the same for my kids. So we gotta get that pinned in.
It's wild.
Yeah.
What a wild pick. Do I regret that? No, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Generally, if you have to ask yourself, do I regret that? Not in a good boat, to be honest.
I think it's a solid pick.
Okay, Ben, you're up at the double.
Yes, and I don't know what to do. All right. I'm gonna take okay.
I'm sorry, that's not a film.
It's another one season wonder here, I believe. If I remember correctly, this will probably be my last one of these. One season, the same season as Billy Crystal, and I'm gonna be taking a movie starring two SNL alum, a little movie called This Is Spinal Tap with Christopher Guest and Harry Shearer.
Nice.
I'll be putting under Christopher Guest.
Nice.
It was between this and another movie of Christopher Guest that I might love more, but I think Spinal Tap is maybe the overall better movie.
Ooh.
So yeah, I don't know. This goes to 11. Like, talk about quotable. You know, like this movie is amazing. The running joke of like all the drummers that basically die or whatever. They have like all these new drummers all the time. And the fact that it's a Rob Reiner movie, I guess I didn't think about that. I've got that and When Harry Met Sally, so that's fantastic.
Wow, the double Reiner.
Stacking up double Reiners here. Yeah, I don't know. Spinal Tap's hilarious. It's one of the best mockumentaries out there. I think one of the first, if I am remembering correctly. So kind of set the tone on that kind of stuff. And I love Spinal Tap. So send it to 11.
Speaking of Rob Reiner, can I just give a quick shout out to Rob Reiner as Max Belfort in The Wolf of Wall Street? Leo's dad. Incredible business. Just, what did you spend all the money on? Look at these bills. Remarkable stuff.
Who the fuck has the goddamn call to call this house on a Tuesday night? I wait all fucking week for the fucking equalizer.
I have not seen This Is Spinal Tap, but I'm happy for you.
It's solid. It's very good. Apparently, they're making a sequel to that.
Yeah, I feel like it's been in the works for a long time, so I don't know if it's like actually going to happen, but it'll be cool if it does. Have you seen many Christopher Guest movies? Have you seen any that you know of, Ethan?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
We gotta do a little research here. We gotta figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's worth checking out.
Okay, I'll try to maybe do that. I gotta watch Oppenheimer again, so I gotta be honest. I'm not quite sure when I'll get around to This Is Spinal Tap.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, I have another pick, huh? Fuck.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay. Chris Rock. I'm just kidding.
His slap at the Oscars.
You finally got to do it. Someone had to do it.
CB4. Let's do it.
Wow,
right.
Christopher Guest as a voice in Small Soldiers? That's remarkable.
You know who he's married to?
Tell me.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
in A Few Good Men? Okay, well, we got to proceed with this draft.
Speaking of Rob Reiner, right? Didn't he direct that too?
Unbelievable.
All right.
Yeah, he did. God, Reiner was just on a fucking tear in the 90s. They don't make him like they used to, you know?
We sure don't.
They really don't. Sorry, I'm trying to decide what to do here. I'm honestly really stuck.
Oh.
So
why is my heart racing?
You've only had all draft to figure this out, Ben.
It's hard though. All right, here's what I'm going to do. One of the best ensemble comedies, I think, ever. And I'm going to go with Amy Poehler in Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
great pick. Wow.
Oh, my God.
Her and Bradley Cooper, who's in Maestro. I don't know if you saw that, but he's
Is it
in
Maya
that.
Hawke in that?
Maya Hawke, yeah. I think she's in that, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. Like, if you've seen it, I think you know how hilarious it is. if you haven't, I don't know how to like explain it to you, but it's like a end of summer camp. Takes place in the 80s. This movie came out in 2001, but it's like, yeah, I gotta pull up this cast. Like,
possibly
Paul
one of the greatest casts of all time.
Yeah, Jeanine Garofalo, Molly Shannon, speaking of SNL, Ken Marino, Michael Ian Black, Bradley Cooper, and Amy Poehler, Elizabeth Banks, like just so many good people in this movie.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Probably
We should all just say Paul Rudd
day.
as many times as we can on this pod.
Yeah. I think that's one of my most used gifts is Paul Rudd in Wet Hot American Summer for sure. So yeah, this movie is great. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out.
Yeah, this is good. I finally got around to checking out this movie recently after many people suggesting it, and I was very happy.
Nice.
Okay, Ashely.
It's amazing. So good.
All right. I gotta have a feral on my team. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna pick Elf.
Oh, you sound really sold on that one.
I guess I'll take one of the greatest holiday movies that's ever come out, I guess.
Not enthusiastic? Jesus.
I don't think you deserve this pick.
So good.
It's great. What
You
else?
literally like don't even have anything to say about this movie. You're like, I got it now on my team. All right.
Well, I guess I could take Elf, I guess.
It's not my fault.
Congratulations, you did it. The world's best cup of coffee. That's incredible. Gosh, guys.
That's good. I mean, it's great. There's not much to say about Elf.
Among the greats, Oppenheimer, Uncut Gems, Elf. Right there, the holy trinity, if you will, of films. One for every season, really.
I mean, yeah.
Elf's a good movie.
Good New York movie, right, Ethan?
Good New York movie. Very good New York movie. I
yeah.
actually take a lot of inspiration because on my next trip to New York, I will be eating gum from underneath the railings and seeing how that tastes. Can't wait.
Amazing.
Really exciting. Again, yeah, second time through, actually. Maybe it'll work out better the second time. Okay, I have a question for you guys. This is real.
Okay.
This is a very real question going into my pick. We all, except me, have a Will Ferrell film on our teams. Do you feel that it might be sacrilegious to walk away from this draft with not a Will Ferrell film on my team?
I don't know if it'd be sacrilegious. I just don't know if it'd be a good idea. I think if you're going to be I'm assuming you're putting the people's names next to the movies we pick so people know who we were relating it to. And
yeah, on the graphic, that's correct.
You have Robert Downey Jr. and not Will Ferrell on your team. Like, I don't know how well that bodes for you in voting. But so far in this show, you haven't been worried about winning. So I don't know why you'd start now. So maybe it's just not a big deal for you. Maybe you don't need to have a Will Ferrell, but I think if you want to win one, it might be a good idea.
All right. Thanks for the input.
Just an idea. Just an idea.
I think you're right. That's my problem. I think you're totally right. I just don't really know where else to go. Something's going to get cut. And that's an issue that we have here.
Yeah, the further we go along, the more I'm like, oh, we could do 10 rounds. Like, I could keep going for sure.
I was worried about 6, and now I'm like, ooh, we should go to 8 because I got some movies I want on my team.
Yeah.
I got 2 slots left. Let me just confirm what I'm working with here. Yeah. Okay. I will. Well, let's just do it so I can get off my board so I can move on to the next thing and think about this. I will be taking a Will Ferrell film, and I will be taking a Will Ferrell movie that I grew up with that I think is remarkably funny, and I don't think anybody else on the planet has maybe even ever seen this movie or knows it quite like I do. I'm going to be taking 2005's Kicking and Screaming, starring Will Ferrell and Robert Duvall, in which Will Ferrell coaches his son's soccer team and becomes addicted to coffee and shouts at Mike Ditka. It's just, quite honestly, a wonderful chain of events for a 12-year-old boy to watch, and that's who I was when I saw this movie last, and it lives on in my head as one of the greats, starring Josh Hutcherson. Not sure if you guys are aware. Kind of a big deal. So I'll be taking Kicking and Screaming. I still think it's a funny movie. Okay. I'm what happened to my wife? I'm a swirling dervish of emotions. It's incredible stuff.
Ashely,
What?
Bryan, I just want to congratulate one of the three of us on winning this
What are you
draft.
talking about? What do you mean? I'm going to
This
find my
is
people.
A successful
I'm going to find
draft
my
for
people.
us.
You literally said you have to take a Will Ferrell film. What else am I going
Not
to take?
kicking and
Semi-pro?
screaming. What
Yeah.
are you
Come
talking
on.
Come on.
You had Talladega Nights, you had Stranger Than Fiction, you had Zoolander, you had
The other guys.
the
Lego
Lego movie,
Oh
Will
my
and
God.
Harper. Like, you had so many better movies. I would have given you Austin Powers.
I
under
take a
that.
vitamin every day. It's called a steak. That's great comedy.
This
Oh
is just
my God.
explaining-
I
this is
honestly think you
explaining
guys are
so
just haters.
much.
I think you guys I think you're out for me. Whatever. I don't care. I think I just locked up the win.
Okay.
That's a personal take.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a take from someone who doesn't appreciate Anchorman.
I literally remember, so funny enough, seeing this in the theater when it came out, because my dad coached my sister's soccer team when I was a kid, and I remember like he took the whole team, and then like all the parents of the children would come and siblings and everything. So of course, me being the son of the coach, I was dragged to go see it. And I remember laughing. I was 7 when this came out, just looking at it, 2005, kind of crazy. But have I seen it since? No, I haven't. Do I have any desire to watch it again? No. The only kicking and screaming movie that I'll probably watch again is the Noah Baumbach one.
And you know what? That would be a good take. Honestly, I support that. But you're unfortunately missing out on one of 2005's greatest comedies. Because if the pizzas don't arrive on time, I've already made the decision. We will eat Beyond Sun. And then the camera quick snaps to Beyond Sun, just looking into the lens. Guys,
You claim this is great
Let's do a
comedy,
kicking
but
and
Anchorman
screaming
is
scenes
not.
draft.
That's
Let's do it.
That is so egregious. That is such a bad take.
God. You guys are crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh.
I just have nothing to say because I haven't seen it. So, yeah.
Well, only one of us have a movie featuring Mike Ditka. Just gonna put that out there. I feel like that goes a
Sure.
long ways.
Yeah, SNL adjacent, Mike Ditka. That's a great, oh.
Yeah. Put an
I saw
asterisk
him-
next to my team.
I saw him speak at an Overstock conference once.
Mike Ditka?
and was he like one of the greatest achievements of my life was being next to Will Ferrell and kicking and screaming?
He was so dynamic. You have no idea.
Sick. Oh, whatever. I feel really good about that pick. It's
That's what
classic.
matters. That's what matters.
I will get the votes of my brothers, and that's what matters to me. We grew up on that movie.
God.
Okay.
Know your name is liar because you tell lies. Classic.
All right, enough talking about this movie.
Classic.
All right, Bryan, you've got a double pick to round out your team.
Okay. I am so fucking happy that nobody took this film, but I'm also kind of bummed because I don't know where any of you stand on this movie. I feel like it's a movie that's been mentioned on this pod before, but I'm gonna go with Palm Springs.
Nice.
Andy Samberg. Low key, one of my favorite rom-coms of the last 5 to 10 years, and it was actually my favorite film of 2020. I adore Palm Springs. I'm not as high on rom-coms as a lot of other people are, but I love Andy Samberg. I've been a big fan of him for a long time. When I jumped into SNL, he was still on SNL, so it was that time period and everything, and I've been a fan pretty much for most of my life, going from SNL and then, of course, doing Brooklyn Nine-Nine and then the various movies that he's done too, and then The Lonely Island. Palm Springs is amazing. And, you know, we've gotten so many stuck in the time loop movies, but for some reason, this finds a way of standing on its own and taking a bit of a, not sci-fi, but it felt kind of grounded compared to a lot of the other stuck in time loop movies. And his chemistry with Kristen Milotti is off the charts. They are so great together. And if they didn't work off each other as well as they did, the entire movie would have fallen flat tremendously. And also, it's important to point out Kristen Milotti because The Penguin is on right now, and The Penguin is so fucking good. It's so good. I'm so happy that she's getting work because she hasn't really done that much work. I loved when you brought up Wolf of Wall Street before, Ethan, because she was in that as Jordan Belfort's first wife. And
Yeah, she was. She stuns for her two sentences.
Absolutely. She's amazing. And yeah, I love Palm Springs and I love Andy Samberg. I really do. And yeah, Palm Springs, wonderful film. Very underrated film too. Nobody talks about it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it came out at the perfect time because it came out at the height of the pandemic. And I think it was the perfect movie to have come out at that time when we were all locked up in our homes and just uncertain of what was going to happen. And we had this very reaffirming, entertaining romp of a rom-com, and I love it. It's great. Where do you guys stand on Palm Springs?
Very pro. I like this movie. Most notably sold for $17.5 million and 69 cents.
Oh.
Worth noting.
Yeah.
To Fox Searchlight. Very interesting.
Yeah, one of the best movies of 2020, like you said. That was a great discovery. I love this movie. Sandberg's hilarious. Who's the one? Is it J.K.? No, is it
J.K. Simmons?
Yeah.
They're doing drugs in the bathtub? I mean, are you kidding me? That's incredible.
So good.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
I think I only saw it the one time, but talking about it is making me want to rewatch. It was really, I liked it.
It's so good.
Rewatch Palm Springs or Kicking and Screaming? Because we unfortunately had moved on from that conversation. But if you wanted to put that in, I can edit it and I can splice it back to go with Kicking and Screaming.
Yeah. Do that. Will you do that, please? Splice that in there.
All right, Brian, what's your final pick for your SNL Alum movie team?
So my final pick is going to be another inspired pick, another actor who was only on the show for one season.
Ooh.
I'm trying to find a way of building this up to make it more exciting, but this is a very recent film. It came out just between 5 years ago. I'm not going to say exactly when it came out, but it came out within the last 5 years. This is a film that literally I had zero interest of watching, and then I saw it, and it ended up being one of my favorites of the year that it came out. Ethan and Ben, I know that both of you are very pro in this movie. Ashely, I don't know where you stand on it, but I am going to go with Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, as Jenny Slate was on one season of SNL from 2009 to 2010.
Nice.
That's an inspired pick.
When I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks really cute, but it doesn't look like a film that I will gravitate towards. I'm like, do I really want to see a movie about a talking shell? Do I really want to see that? And I mean, if A24 honestly wasn't behind it, I don't know if I would have rushed out to go see it, if I'm being honest, but I'm so glad I did, because truly this film is so good, and it's so heartwarming. It's heartbreaking at times too. I mean, I didn't think that I was gonna get emotional when watching a movie about a talking shell. And Jenny Slate, the voice work from her is really spectacular. Yeah. And I know that we don't have an Oscar for voice acting, but low key, thinking back on what came out in 2022, if they had an Oscar for voice acting, I think she could have won. I genuinely think that she could have won, because that voice work is amazing. And then when you see how she does the voice work, she puts her finger in one of her ears and does it's a weird process how she was able to pull this off. And it's amazing too, because it was coming from short films that were on YouTube. Then they made this feature film, and it was one of the best films of that year. And it's also one of the great A24 outlets. And I mean, they have so many. I mean, we talked about Uncut Gems earlier in this episode, but Marcel the Shell is really wonderful. And another film to where, similarly to Palm Springs, nobody has talked about this film since it came out. And that's really disappointing, because it's so good. Yeah. It's so good.
It's a cute flick. Yeah, I like it.
Have you shown your kids this or no?
Yes.
Not yet.
Yes, I have. They love this movie. They think Marcel is very, very cute, and they have a very hard time comprehending that Marcel is a he. And it's cute, and I actually think it's a great kind of introductory conversation of people sound different, and I think that's really cute. Don't you have a Marcel with you, Ben?
Yeah. With his pink shoes, just like his dad and his grandpa.
Aww. I love Marcel.
Obviously, he's a boy. He has pink shoes. So,
yeah, this is a good movie.
The whole whale jet ski.
Oh,
whale jet
up with Wayne Gretzky. It's so funny.
It's too
whale
good.
Jet ski? That can't be right.
That's a good one.
Oscar-nominated film, too. Nominated for Best Animated Feature.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Great pick.
Great pick.
Great pick. Okay. Well, I'm
Jenny
gonna follow it up
Slate, I mean, can we what a talent she is.
So talented.
I feel like she kind of is her connection to SNL is unfortunately that she said fuck on live TV, and that's kind of what her legacy for that show.
Yeah.
Good for her.
And yeah, but I mean, beyond that, she's done so many great things. So that's a great pick, Bryan.
Good job.
Thanks.
Okay. I don't have anything to live for with my team, so I'm just gonna do whatever the hell I want because apparently it's all gone anyway. This was already gonna be a pick, so it's nothing new for me. I'm gonna be picking a movie featuring SNL performer Julia Sweeney, who most notably is in a Chris Farley sketch, the Matt Foley sketch, Van Down by the River. I will be, in fact, taking Pulp Fiction because she is the wolf's daughter in Pulp Fiction. And
there's no
She's
way.
credited. She's credited in the film. She speaks. Taking Pulp Fiction.
You cannot play Julia Sweeney.
You guys can't. You can't just be like, nah, it doesn't count. But it literally does. She's credited. She speaks in the film. She's in SNL. I'm meeting all the barometers here. You guys are just mad. You're mad.
You're
mad. Big mad.
Charts on the bullshit barometer. I can tell you that.
You guys are just big mad.
No,
what do you want me to do?
I'm excited to take Anthony Michael Hall in The Dark Knight. I can't wait for that to be my last pick.
Do it. Dude, nobody's stopping you, Ben. I paved my path to this, okay?
Did.
I built this team brick by brick, and I've earned this.
How much research did you have to do before you found that nugget?
I went to Reddit, and there was already a thread about best movies with SNL alums, and it was one of the top voted comments. And so I snuck it away in my pocket to the 6th round, and I feel good about it, and it's on my team.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
I mean, if you guys have a legit constitution here why you think it shouldn't be on my team, let me hear it. But she's literally credited in this film. She speaks in this movie.
How far down? How many people are above her name on IMDb?
Okay, let me tell you because it's actually it's pretty funny. So I had pulled up all of my Google references so that way nobody could get mad at me. So I've got to go back here. She is quite literally, I think there's 58 people credited. She's 57th.
That's insane.
There's 59 people credited and she's 58th.
Wow.
She's on the list.
This is why I asked at the beginning, like, how much of a role do they need to have? Because Mike Myers is like a thin role, but Jesus Christ, the wolf's daughter, like one half of the scene. That's crazy.
Bro, look, what are you going to do, you know? Tough that it's not on your team. I hate to bring you.
I don't want this on my team. It's insane.
She was on SNL for 4 years.
Yeah, a lot longer.
She's an SNL stalwart. 1990 to 1994. Love her work on both the Matt Foley sketch and Pulp Fiction. An all-time great.
You literally could have chosen Monsters University.
Can you just
What's the better movie, Monsters University or Pulp Fiction, Bryan?
Yeah, but
let's get real
You
here.
like gush about how genius Monsters
I love
University
Monsters University.
is.
I think it's a great film. It's like the Hunger Games from animated monsters. It's amazing.
You could have emphasized your love even more for it if you put it on your team.
Nah. Why now? You know, I got nothing worth living for.
My God.
Can you tell me the name of the movie that Julia Sweeney starred in, where they took the sketch from SNL and made it a direct movie?
Get off IMDb.
Are you familiar?
Is that not Coneheads?
No.
No,
damn.
it's not.
Okay.
I gave it a shot. I gave it a shot. Gremlins 2, the new batch. That was first an SNL sketch, right?
I mean, if your kiddos have a hard time wrapping their little brains around Marcel being a boy, you should show them Pat.
Yeah. Let's see, it's Pat.
It's Pat the movie. She goes on, she stars in Pulp Fiction, and then same year, she stars in It's Pat the movie. Incredible. God, just back to back. SNL stalwart.
God.
All right. Let's proceed. Let's round out this draft.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Ashely, you're up.
Okay. Okay. I thought I was gonna pick a silly movie, but wow. It's a real tough act to follow.
That's why I did it in the 6th round. I feel like I would have really derailed things early on. I had to save it for the end.
Yeah.
It's like the cherry on top of my already just distraught team.
It's a it's a wild team. All right. I'm gonna pick one of the most recent comedies that's become a real quote factory for me, and it's silly, and it stars Kristen Wiig and her co-writer of Bridesmaids, Annie Mumolo, and I'm picking
hell
Barb
yeah.
and Star Go to
Hell
Steal
yeah.
Mars.
Nice. Yeah. I was hoping this would get picked.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's silly. There's no point to it. It's out of left field in so many different ways. An instant classic for me.
I love Don
Jamie
Cheadle.
Doran, incredible.
Yeah.
Very good in this movie. Funny movie.
It's so funny.
Very funny movie.
If you didn't pick it here, I was going to take it with the last pick. So this is a solid move on your part.
Well, I left you what I think you're going to pick. I'll write it on my phone. We'll see if I'm right.
This whole energy between you guys should be forbidden from the draft. Honestly. I left you this one. I knew you were going to want.
I think
this
it just
one,
means
so
we
I
need to
left it
get
for you.
Molly on. I think that's what it means.
We should do a couples. Yeah, we should do a couples pod. That would really. I'm going to be honest with you. That would really sabotage my teams. If we'd had a team that like tag team and make a team.
Your own teams.
No. Let me tell you. Yeah, actually, Molly might have done better than me on this draft. Honestly, based on what I told her, and she was like throwing out gems.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Okay.
Right.
What do you got, Ben? What's your final pick?
I don't know. I don't know what to go with here. Like, there's so many ways to go. I guess I can talk about it out loud because I'm the last pick. I rewatched Popstar today. I love Popstar.
It's a good one.
Like, it's such a good movie, and it's kind of what I'm leaning towards. But then there's stuff like Lost in Translation. There's Life Aquatic, if I want to go with Bill Murray. Like, some fantastic stuff there. I joked about The Dark Knight, but really The Breakfast Club with Anthony Michael Hall. Like, another great movie. I genuinely don't know what to do here. I think I'm just going to keep it in the SNL vein, the true SNL vein, not fucking Pulp Fiction. And I am going to take Popstar. Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Whoa. Okay.
That's what I'm going to take. What did you have down?
I thought you were going to pick Hot Rod.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, before I rewatched them, I probably would have, but Popstar for some reason hit even harder for me.
Oh.
Today. It might be recency bias, but I just forgot, like, they're both hilarious. But yeah, I think it was going to come down to a Sandberg for sure.
Yeah, justice for Hot Rod. God, you look pretty. What? I said you look shitty. Good night, Denise.
Good night, Denise. Babe. Fuck, maybe I should make Hot Rod now. God damn it.
Well, we have solidified our SNL alum movie draft here on the Movie Draft Podcast. Let's go through our totally sane and directly SNL related teams. And let's put them out there in the world. Let's do a quick round of honorable mentions. I do think there's some things out there in the world worth mentioning. And then we'll wrap it up here because surprisingly, this is like on the longer side of our drafts. And I did not think the SNL alum would constitute such bloodshed.
Yeah.
But here we are. Such heresy from everybody else except me. Ben, why don't you walk us through your team, read your movie, and read who is affiliated with that film?
I took Will Ferrell in Step Brothers, Adam Sandler in The Wedding Singer, Billy Crystal in When Harry Met Sally, Christopher Guest in This Is Spinal Tap, Amy Poehler in Wet Hot American Summer, and Andy Samberg in Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stoppin'. What
about you, Ashely?
I've got Chris Farley and Tommy Boy, which nobody else wanted. I can't believe.
Boo.
Crazy. Tina Fey for Mean Girls, Mike Myers and Shrek, Dan Aykroyd, and Bill Murray from Ghostbusters, Will Ferrell, Elf, and Kristen Wiig for Barb and Star.
I chose Oppenheimer featuring Robert Downey Jr. Small movie. Probably haven't heard of it. I also chose Inglourious Bastards featuring Mike Myers. Bridesmaids, starring Kristen Wiig. Wayne's World, starring Dana Carvey, a SNL Hall of Famer. Kicking and Screaming, the best comedy of 2005, featuring Will Ferrell.
Unhinged.
And a little-known movie, Pulp Fiction, starring Julia Sweeney. Not sure if you've heard of it. Pretty good flick. Brian, read us your team.
Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, Will Ferrell in Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy, Eddie Murphy in Coming to America, Ben Stiller in Tropic Thunder, Andy Samberg in Palm Springs, and Jenny Slate in Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
Who do you guys think won this draft?
Ashely.
I don't know.
Tommy Boy,
gotta-
Mean Girls, Shrek, Ghostbusters, Elf, Barb and Star.
Yeah. That's
a
an
lot
all-timer
of heavy
squad.
hitters.
I think you having Mean Girls and Elf and Shrek
Shrek,
and Tommy
yeah.
Boy really helps out.
Well, okay, can I just share my strategy was to try to get movies that highlighted the things I loved about them on SNL.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just like right down
Oh.
the middle. That's what like my intention was. But I think you guys
Hmm.
pulled some like unexpected shit that I don't know, people might be into.
Respect Pulp Fiction for Julia fucking Sweeney. Get out of here.
Yeah.
A person you had ever heard of before tonight.
I've only seen the Matt Foley sketch a million times in my life. I know exactly who she
Oh
is.
my God.
Who's the
God.
dad in that sketch? Who's the dad in that sketch?
He's very popular and important, and he
Yeah.
stars in a lot of movies that I like. And
Yeah,
I don't know his
News
name,
Radio,
but I
yeah.
know he's that guy.
Yeah,
He's very
okay.
good.
R.I.P. Phil Hartman. Sorry.
Oh
Jeez.
man, yeah. R.I.P. Phil Harton. Tough. Bad luck for me on this draft. Got to be honest with you guys.
My God.
not panning out well. Okay, I will give you my very quick honorable mentions. We can kind of go around the horn here if there's any out there.
Yeah.
Baby Mama, Tina Fey. I thought that was worth mentioning. Pretty funny movie.
So good.
Moonrise Kingdom, Bill Murray. That would have been my Bill Murray pick. Hot Rod, we kind of briefly mentioned. Andy Samberg. Another Robert Downey Jr. movie, Zodiac. Obviously, he's got a pretty big filmography, but I think Zodiac would have been the next pick there. Ben, you mentioned Bodies, Bodies, Bodies for Pete Davidson. I think genuinely like a pretty inspired pick for this draft. Coneheads was
Coneheads.
I wanted it. I thought
Yeah.
it would play well in the SNL Alum draft because it is again one of the few movies based on a sketch from SNL starring Dan Aykroyd. And then I got two more. A Few Good Men that I found about in the 5th round. Thought that would have been cool to draft. Pretty good film. And Dodgeball, True Underdog Story, starring Ben Stiller as White Goodman. Nobody Makes Me Bleed My Own Blood. Classic. Anything you guys want to mention that didn't get drafted?
Yeah, this will be one that I wanted to shout out, not just for me, but for Sophie. Broadcast News, Joan Cusack. Joan Cusack was also one season SNL alum. Bill Hader, I'm kind of bummed that none of us mentioned anything from Bill Hader, but I definitely think that if we were able to pitch TV, I would have pitched the entirety of Barry. But Superbad, Adventureland, Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs.
Superbad. Bill Hader's in Superbad. Damn, that
Yeah.
would have been good. That would have been a good pick.
Will Forte, Nebraska. I'm a huge Alexander Payne fan, and I love Nebraska. I think it's honestly a really outstanding film, and I always love it. Again, a common thing with me is that I love whenever comics venture into serious performances, and Will Forte is so fucking good in Nebraska. Inside Out for Amy Poehler. Talking about anime films, that's a great one. Pretty much any Wes Anderson, Bill Murray collaboration. You brought Moonrise Kingdom, Ethan. That's my favorite Wes Anderson film, so that would have been a good one. But I probably would have picked maybe Royal Tenenbaums. That would have been like my second pick for that. Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man. I mean, of course, like the star of the MCU. And then this one for my dad, so that he's not disappointing me, even though he probably won't listen to this podcast. John Belushi for Animal House.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to talk about one of the OGs, and Animal House is a fantastic comedy.
Ashley?
Yeah, I feel like people might be upset we haven't mentioned Blues Brothers yet, but I think I don't know. It was just a little bit before my time. I don't think I watched it. I don't know. It just, we can't not mention it. But And
Worth
then
a mention.
also, like, I love all those movies that they made out of SNL characters. Like, I love Superstar. Um, Night at the Roxbury is insane.
MacGruber.
MacGruber.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are always fun to see. I think, what else? Anything else?
Good
Oh,
picks.
I love Zoolander. We talked about
Yeah.
it briefly,
Yeah.
but
I was a little surprised Zoolander didn't come up in conversation.
mhm.
Well, when you have Tropic Thunder, I mean, it's
Oh
you know,
my. Okay.
it's it's
Yeah.
Wow.
it's
What are
hard.
you gonna do? I mean, Chevy Chase, like the National Lampoon's Vacation or Christmas
Yeah.
Vacation.
Yeah.
I think those are both pretty solid. I mean, I already mentioned Breakfast Club, Anthony Michael Hall. I'm surprised, like, no one took Austin Powers, right? Like,
No.
No.
I'm kind of surprised that really didn't come up at all. Let's see. I just had a couple more. Oh yeah, you mentioned Royal Tenenbaums. Like, I thought that's a good one too. That would have been good for Stiller. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff, and even Maya Rudolph in Big Hero 6. It's a good movie.
Oh,
Okay, this is interesting that you mentioned Maya Rudolph because I had one more honorable mention that was on highlighted blue between that and Pulp Fiction for what I wanted to go with last. I chose Pulp to cause the most chaos. Maya Rudolph and Licorice Pizza.
I knew you were gonna. I knew you were gonna go in that direction.
I was considering. Could have been done. Licorice Pizza, one of the greats of the
Oh.
2020s.
Damn.
Ben's not impressed. Too bad.
No, I was like, you already have a bad movie on your team. You don't need two.
Oh my
so
God.
don't-
Jesus
Don't make me
Christ.
side with Ethan. Don't make me side
God,
with Ethan.
wrap this up. This is unreal. Unreal. All right, we've done it. We've drafted
Yeah.
SNL alum movies, 24 movies in total. We shall see who wins. I think it'll be a very close race between all teams when the polling goes out. Again, we'll put it out on Twitter, Instagram, and Spotify. You can vote in all of those places. So find us and go vote. A massive thank you to Bryan for joining us for the draft. Bryan, thanks, man. If people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was such a blast recording with you guys tonight. You can find me on all socials at Bryan Sudfield, and you could subscribe to my podcast, Life Moves Pretty Fast. We drop episodes every Wednesday. It's a coming-of-age film podcast. So if you love coming-of-age films, be sure to give that a listen.
Yes, highly recommend. Give it a listen. Go find my episode about Francis Ha. I'm really unhinged on that episode, and it's really fun stuff. Ashely, thanks for joining the pod. I
Thanks
appreciate
for letting me
it.
back.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really my decision. You know, partly Ben's pod, and I gotta give some leeway sometimes. If people want to find more of you, can they find you anywhere, or you're a movie draft pod specialist, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
I figured.
I don't know. I'm around. Ben tags me and shit sometimes. I don't know.
Just go follow Ben. And then,
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben adjacent, right? It's like
Mhm.
SNL adjacent. Ben, thanks for co-hosting this pod with me, man. Appreciate it.
It was a good one. I am very curious to see how this voting goes. I just really hope you don't win.
What if I do win? What happens?
I don't know. I quit. I guess I have no idea what happens. That's just insane. If people respect the Julia Sweeney pick, I'm gonna lose my mind.
You just be big mad because it's so brilliant. You'd be like, damn,
No, brilliant
I wish
is
I
not
had it
the
on my
word.
team.
Yeah.
Oh man, a good draft as always. Be sure to listen and subscribe to the Movie Draft Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes will be released weekly on Tuesdays. We'll see you then.